जय हिंद, जय भारत एंड वेलकम टू डेफ टॉक्स। दिस इज आदि अचिंत। आइए समझें जियोपॉलिटिक्स को एक भारतीय नजरिए से।
So India has a mindset where it hits, it punches below its weight. We have to punch not above our weight. We have to punch not below our weight. We have to increase our weight and punch proportionally.
ये हमारा सिद्धांत है, हम घर में घुस के मारेंगे।
You know, victims of terrorism do not sit together with perpetrators of terrorism to discuss terrorism.
नमस्कार, जय हिंद, जय भारत। कौन है टेररिस्ट, कौन है नहीं, ये तो पता नहीं मेरे को, लेकिन इमरान खान को बाहर निकाल दिया है। आज बात करते हैं राजा मुनीब साहब से। और इमरान खान इज नॉट दी ओनली न्यूज, कहीं ना कहीं और भी न्यूज आ रही है जहां पर जो चीजें हम लोग इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे बात करी जा रहे हैं कि भाई पाकिस्तान के दिन छोटे हो रहे हैं और एक टाइम ऐसा आएगा अंधेरा ही अंधेरा छाया होगा पाकिस्तान पे। ये बहुत जल्दी होने वाला है। ठीक है, हम लोग 5 से 10 साल की डेट डाल रहे थे। लेट मी टेल यू, थोड़ा रिवर्स गियर में कर लो। 5 से 10 से अभी रिवर्स आना शुरू हो गया है, तो अब वो कितना प्रोपोर्शन रिवर्स है वो देखेंगे। लेकिन लेट्स वेलकम राजा मुनीब साहब। नमस्कार, थैंक यू सो मच यार।
नमस्कार सर, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर हैविंग मी अगेन।
ऑलवेज अ प्लेजर सर। मेरे को पहले ये बताओ, इमरान खान को निकाल कौन रहा है जेल से? और सबसे पहले निकाल तो ठीक है, उसका जजमेंट आया और रीअरेस्ट कर लिया उसको।
रीअरेस्ट कर लिया उसको तोशखाना केस में, जिसमें पहले उसको बेल मिल चुकी थी। दे हैव ओपन्ड अ न्यू केस। 8 दिन की रिमांड दी है उसको इन्होंने।
हाँ।
सी, इमरान का आई हैव बीन सेइंग फ्रॉम द स्टार्ट दैट the divide in Pakistani judiciary and the bureaucracy and the army is quite visible. Second is the internal security of Pakistan, which is directly proportional to Imran Khan's release or his detention. Now, पिछले 1 साल से बड़ी कोशिश कर रहे थे कि ये किसी तरीके से थोड़ा स्टेबलाइज कर लें, कुछ चीजें इनके हक में हो जाएं, कुछ फेवर में हो जाएं। इन्होंने अफगानियों को भी निकाल के कोशिश की, बाकी चीजें भी की हैं, बट they could not succeed into it. On the contrary, ये हो रहा है कि इन पे प्रेशर बहुत बनता जा रहा है, और जितना प्रेशर बनता जाएगा उतना इमरान खान को डील देनी, इमरान खान के साथ बात करनी उतनी इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाएगी। अच्छा, इन्होंने इलेक्शंस को भी मैनेज करने की कोशिश की, डिस्पाइट completely boycotting, completely blacklisting his party, he still managed to get a lot of votes. तो वो भी कहीं ना कहीं जाके जो था इनकी गेम प्लान में बैकफायर कर गया। और सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी आज में आके उसमें मोहर तो लगाई दी है कि नहीं यार, it is a political party, will always stay a political party, right? Yeah. So that tells you that the establishment also knows that the winds are changing, the direction of the wind is changing, and they don't want to put out their head for long, क्योंकि फिर उनको पता है कि the new system which is going to be there for longer periods, they will not be a part of that system. Second thing is the deep state within Pakistan is also divided somewhere. कि in what is happening within Pakistani politics, एक तो वो भी है क्योंकि एक पोर्शन है जो कह रहा था कि इमरान खान से बात जो है the channel of dialogue has to be open with him. तीसरा है जो मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट है वो ये है कि जितना पाकिस्तान में केपी रीजन का हम देख ही रहे हैं क्या हाल है, और जितना ये बढ़ेगा अनरेस्ट वहां बढ़ेगा, एंड जितना पश्तून मूवमेंट जो है वो पकड़ता जाएगा, ग्राउंड पे पकड़ता जाएगा। अभी गुलमन वजीर को भी इन्होंने मार दिया और उसका भी जो रिपोर्टेशन है इट्स गोइंग टू बी ह्यूज। पीटीएम का अगर आप ऑलरेडी स्टार्ट हो गया, पीटीएम को अगर आप देखेंगे तो पीटीएम का मैसेजेस भी अगर आप पीटीएम के देखोगे जो आ रहे हैं ग्राउंड से, दैट इज ऑलरेडी बिग। सो दैट ओवरऑल इंस्टेबिलिटी जो पाकिस्तान में है, कहीं ना कहीं वन इज द मुस्लिम ब्रदरहुड फैक्टर इनटू इट एज वेल। जो वो लॉबी है वो बड़ी स्ट्रांग है आज की डेट में। they have a firm grip on Afghanistan, they have a good grip in Pakistan, they think that Imran should be back, so they have lobbied internationally. उन्होंने they have basically they have been internationally, they have been backing Imran Khan. और within the deep state a very small portion is doing it within the Pakistani army. अब आप देखें तो आर्मी ने जिस हिसाब से पर्जिंग की है अपने कार्ड ऑफिसर्स की आफ्टर दैट फरवरी लास्ट ईयर, मे लास्ट ईयर का जो इंसिडेंट था, तो this is a clear indication that there is rebellion within Pakistan, not only in the Pakistani establishment, but also in Pakistani bureaucracy, Pakistani judiciary, as well as politicians. तो हैं ही हैं. So Imran will make a comeback very, very slowly, and slowly he will come back. They will have to ease the grip. उसके साथ dialogue इनका चल रहा है. They are trying to negotiate with Imran, looking at concessions from him. But the more lenient they becomes toward Imran Khan, the more stronger Imran Khan becomes, and more hardcore Imran Khan becomes. So अब Imran Khan की condition of talks आप देख लो. उसका पहले तो ये है कि हमारे सारे जितने भी पीटीआई के वर्कर्स हैं उनको आपने जेल में बंद किया, उनको आप छोड़ दीजिए, राइट? देन रिस्टोर आवर स्टेटस, वी हैव वन, bring me back. That is another thing of his. So he's taking a very hardcore stance as well, because he knows that it's his moment is coming back again. He's coming back again. So that is essentially what is happening with Imran Khan. So Imran holds the key in Pakistan for now. There was a lot of talk about Imran either being killed like Bhutto. Iska Bhutto wala jo hai wo, it seemed like at one point of time ki isko wahi karenge, because everybody was looking at Pakistan from the historical perspective of 1972, 73, 74. They didn't see the reality, what is changing on the ground, vis-a-vis what was the issues at that time Pakistan was facing, and what Pakistan was that time and what Pakistan is today. So they couldn't take him out. They tried to assassinate him. It failed. They have tried every trick in the book to, damage him up. But every time they tried to damage his reputation, he emerged much more stronger. His sympathy in the people is much higher. So in the end, they had no other option. It's like now they don't have an option. They have to talk to Imran Khan. They are talking to Imran Khan, and Imran will be out. It seems like Shahbaz Sharif's days are numbered. Now the question is, who is going to be next? Is it going to be? I'm hearing that Asim Munir is thinking कि maybe they will, Zardari and Bhutto combination, Bilawal Bhutto and Zardari combination as a last resort. And if that is not the combination, if Sharif really goes, because Pakistan में protest शुरू होने वाले हैं सर, ये तो आप लिख के ले जाओ मेरे से. वहाँ शॉर्टेज शुरू होने वाली है, प्रोटेस्ट शुरू होने वाले हैं. आईएमएफ ने फिर से बड़ी स्ट्रिंजेंट कंडीशन रखी है. बिजली का यूनिट चढ़ गया, 49 रुपीस पर यूनिट बिजली का रेट हो गया है. तो पाकिस्तान में तो फिर से शुरू होने वाले हैं. तो will Shahbaz Sharif be able to survive this? Okay, he tried to deliver to China, couldn't deliver to China also. Had to call back the operation, जिसके बारे में हम बात करेंगे. So that leaves with Imran Khan only. The way the division in Pakistan is, in public, in every sphere of Pakistani society is divided. And honestly, they only see Imran Khan as the messiah. उनको लगता है कि अगर कोई कुछ कर पाएगा, हमको बचा पाएगा, तो इमरान खान ही है.
वो तो एक वो डिल्यूजनलिज्म जो पाकिस्तान का है, उसके बारे में थोड़ा-सा लेट्स जस्ट पुट इट ऑन अ पिन एंड कीप इट ऑन द साइड, क्योंकि उसके बारे में बात करेंगे थोड़ी-सी. बट मेरे को जो आपसे पूछना है इज़ द पश्तून फैक्टर. मैं किसी से बात कर रहा था शाम को एंड आई टोल्ड यू अबाउट दिस. इन्होंने बोला कि जी ये जो पीटीएम से जो मंजूर पश्तीन से जो स्टेटमेंट आया है दैट इज़ वेरी सिग्निफिकेंट. और उन्होंने बोला है कि भाई 11 अक्टूबर 2024, that is 11th of October 2024 will be a big judgment day के टाइप से बोला है. A lot of people are interpreting कि ये इंडिपेंडेंस कुछ डिक्लेयर करेंगे. I don't know what that is, but एक चीज जो सिग्निफिकेंट आज मुझे पता चली है कि साहब ये बंदे बात कर रहे हैं टीटीपी से, जो आज तक कभी भी इन लोगों ने हथियार नहीं उठाए, क्योंकि ये फ्रंटियर गांधी के बच्चे हैं. So they've never picked up a weapon, but they are starting now to say भैया we will talk to the TTP and we will get what we need to get. ये कितना significant है?
It's a very significant thing. Look, even the some analysts within Pakistan are also saying the same thing. They're saying that the region is going to change, KP is going to change. Whether it will change short term or long term, but it is going to have an effect. So it is clear an indication कि ये होगा. अब जहां तक मंजूर पश्तीन की बात है, he has been running that PTM movement for a very long time. He might not openly side, और मुझे नहीं लगता कि PTM में जाके they are going to pick up weapons. I don't see them picking up weapons, but what I see them is giving complete access and complete access, sovereignty to TTP. And they will actually invite them and tell them that, this is from now on, this is yours and you take care of this region. Anyway, अगर आप देखोगे आज की डेट में भी, TTP is very, very dominant in that area. Pakistan army is not standing anywhere near there. They're taking heavy casualties every day, and the war on terror has not worked. In fact, it's the other way around. Inka war on terror hai. But what was interesting is also something which I think I shared with you yesterday. The statement of TTP vis-a-vis, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, where something very interesting, in that whole document, where they say we invite, people from other countries to come, especially Qatar. Now they don't mention Saudi Arabia, but they mention Qatar. Ki, people from Qatar can come and see that what is Pakistan done in this area and what has happened in this area. So that is a very clear indication of where the things are going. With TTP, and the way TTP is saying that they call us the terrorist, and the way they have justified that they are not the terrorists, but the other side is the terrorist. The Pakistani establishment is the real terrorists. So that is an interesting war of narratives, which is happening. But apart from war of narratives, what is happening also is the kinetic operations Pakistani army tried to conduct in the region have miserably failed. They have taken heavy casualties. Now the Pakistani media will never talk about it, right? But they have taken massive casualties, and they are still taking casualties whenever they try to go inside. Even if they are getting attacked, their police stations are also getting attacked. So
let's
PTM
talk
का ये
about that,
रहेगा कि
because
PTM.
sorry to interject, but
हाँ,
you said casualties. मेरे पास जो report आई है that in the first 2-3 days they literally got hit by about 200. 200.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's
I
huge, यार.
wouldn't be. I
पूरी
wouldn't
तुमने
be surprised.
1.5-2
क्यों
कंपनी उड़ा दी पाकिस्तानियों की.
नहीं, क्योंकि अगर आप initial photographs देखोगे ना आदि, you look at the way the Pakistani military is moving in that region, right? They don't have many armored carrying personnel vehicles, APVs नहीं है, ठीक है. They're still using those ragtag trucks and those what the Pakistanis now call coffins, moving coffins. वो हमारे Toyota के pickup truck जो हैं वो open होते हैं, right? And we've seen them moving with those kind of equipment and those kind of vehicles. I am not surprised if the number is maybe 200 is an exaggerated number, but about 100, or because even my sources who I spoke to said number is very significant. They are not talking about the losses, but इनको पहले 2 दिन में बहुत नुकसान हुआ है और ये वहां से फिर लिटरली भागे हैं क्योंकि इनको जगह नहीं मिली. And that is where, and ये खाली केपी में नहीं हुआ है, ये चित्राल में भी हुआ. And that is where that is ये पूरे region में हुआ, because they went up and they got hit there, then they got hit in KP also. So इनका एक cumulative number था पहले 2 दिन में, and that number is quite significant. It's 100% more than 100 for sure. That is why that that Major General Khalid जो था वो बोल रहा था कि हम इनको घर में घुस के मारेंगे and all that. That was a reaction to what they had to face. They never thought they would be able to face that kind of resistance, right?
Yeah.
So their numbers are high, और उसके बाद से their इस्तेकाम has basically finished off. उसका इंतकाम ही हो गया, उसकी आवाज नहीं आ रही कहीं. You're not hearing it from the Pakistani side. The Pakistanis tried first 2-3 days talking about we have kinetic operation, we killed him, we killed that. एक उन्होंने वो शायद TTP का कमांडर जो है उसको मारा था जो इंजर्ड था, पंजाब में उसको घेर के इन्होंने मारा. They had done 2 drone strikes on him before as well, but he had escaped. He was injured, तो उसको शायद मारा. Apart from that, you look, the whole thing has died. The way they started with this operation, the Pakistani IW accounts, they were so excited about it, and after 2 days they have just fizzled out. So that fizzling out in itself is a testimony to the fact that they could not sustain that operation. They have taken beatings in that region, and they are taking further beatings. अब problem ये है कि now they are talking about नहीं जी 70% or 30% है, 30% जो है वो military है और 70% political है. तो वो language ही change हो गई है Pakistani army की, right? Now the language has changed. So वो language change होने का मतलब ये है कि हमको वहाँ भी मार पड़ गई, right? We have failed there as well. So there is huge resistance, political resistance भी है, no political leader allowed this to happen. जो इनके ground पे sources हैं, they literally washed their hands off and said we are not going to help you. क्योंकि जहाँ तक मुझे याद है इनका वो अमन ग्रुप्स होते थे इनके, जो इन्होंने ज़रबे के वक्त बनाए थे. इस बारी जो killings हुई हैं केपी में मैक्सिमम वही मारे गए हैं. TTP ने उनको टारगेट किया है, and now they said you couldn't even protect us, so how can we trust you again? So they have lost that factor as well. And militarily, it's a failure. Before it started, it ended.
ये जो मिलिटरीली तो फेलियर, आई मीन दैट इज नॉट अ सरप्राइज। हम लोग उस टाइम पे बात ही किया था, पाकिस्तान गोज टू वॉर, हमने बात करी थी, ये दम तो है नहीं इनके पास, पता नहीं कर क्या रहे हैं। बट हैविंग सेड दैट, इनका एक जो आप ये देखो, this Imran Khan issue, now if you connect this with Manzoor Pashtun, ये पश्तूनों के लिए, पठानों के लिए क्या, किस डायरेक्शन में, what is the signal that you're getting? Because this will kind of give a lot of impetus to a lot of other groups also. और मेरे पास जो अभी reports आ रही हैं, the recent report that has been tabled in the UNSC, that Al Qaeda is linking up with a lot of people. Al Qaeda has basically opened one madrasa in every province in Afghanistan. ट्रेन कर रहे हैं वहां पर एक कोई, और बोलते हैं कि भाई हम मिशन की प्लानिंग कर रहे हैं। प्लस अल कायदा इज लिंक्ड अप विद द ETIM आल्सो। तो अल कायदा लिंकिंग, ये क्या चक्कर हो रहा है इस जगह के अंदर?
Western narrative of Al Qaeda opening one madrasa is all bullshit. I don't believe, I don't buy that nonsense. Because Al Qaeda doesn't open madrasas like that, and Al Qaeda had been operating a lot of madrasas within Pakistan and within Afghanistan also, and funded by CIA itself, right? So now this, there is a coterie of secret service sitting in the US who wants to say that Al Qaeda is all the bad guys, and they want to paint everybody in the same picture, and Afghan Taliban is very bad, and Pakistan is their only savior. वो एक जो वो you can say that वो military industrial complex पे एक वो बड़ा छोटा सा एक gang है. They keep on talking to that nonsense, and Afghan Taliban doesn't need Al Qaeda to come and topple Pakistan.
Yeah,
the sympathy Pashtuns have, right? They don't. So yeah, so there is a lot of bullshit narrative they're trying to build vis-a-vis of Taliban and vis-a-vis Pakistan. We know the ISKP game is going on in the region, right? So there is an axe to grind, and now they are saying, no, we have to open up this region again if we have to save our Middle East. Inka wohi hai, but anyway, so that is not something which is worth 2 cents of information to me. But see, Imran Khan is important for Pashtun movement also, no? Because look, the failure of Pakistani military, Pakistan has to pay a political cost for it. Because the more Pakistani military fails, the more establishment, the more Pakistan as a state seems to be as a failure and as a weakness, right? Now, there are already voices in Pakistan who are saying that, oh, if you're talking to TTP, it is fine. They also know that while Imran Khan was there, somehow he managed to keep them at bay, right? He was talking, he had effectively engaged them.
हाँ, पैसे पूसे दे रहा था, resettlement कर रहा था, ये कर रहा था,
he had effectively engaged them, he was resettling them. Now Pakistan, there are analysts in Pakistan who are saying, no, you talk to Taliban and you move these resettled TTP families deep into Afghanistan. If they don't move into Afghanistan, you take a full-fledged action against Afghanistan. So this is the kind of foolish narrative which is coming from Pakistan. But as far as Pashtuns are, concerned, they see Imran Khan as their, Messiah, as their savior, because Imran has always talked about them. Imran himself, comes from the same ethnicity. They see Imran Khan a natural savior of them, and they also see something that Imran is somebody who is trying to protect them from the corrupt Pakistani Punjabi establishment, who Imran tried to stand up against, right? So unke liye Imran Khan is very, very important, and no, it's rightly so, because it's all about the way Punjabis have gone against the Pashtuns. Perception. So the perception is that Imran Khan, and it's not a perception, it's a reality also, Aadi. Look at the way they have treated Pashtuns. The Pakistani military journals, look at the way what they have treated Pashtuns, right? They treat literally them as second-grade citizens. So I don't think it is perception. I think there is reality to it as well. But for them, Imran Khan is somebody who is a savior.
Perception of Imran Khan not being corrupt and,
No, see, the point is who is not corrupt.
Yeah.
So I don't think corruption is even an issue in Pakistan. Right? And they say, why not Imran be corrupt, and why journals only has to be corrupt? Imran Khan can also be corrupt, but he's doing good work for us. As long as he's taking care of the interest of people sitting in that particular geographical area, that is what matters to them. They are not looking for a Anna Hazare, no, who will rid them of corruption. The problem is not corruption. Right? So, and Imran, the perception of Imran Khan is that he is the Anna Hazare. ये मोमिन है, ये इस्लाम की बात करता है. He resonates with them on the Islamic front. He talks about Medina ki riyasat. He told judges very categorically. He said, you don't have to answer to the Pakistani establishment, you have to answer to Allah. Leave my wife out of this. Put me in jail. So, he's knocking at the right thing. He's knocking at the core of Pakistani heart when he talks of, of Islam. Or if he talks about the way things have to be dealt with. He comes out as a just man to an average Pakistani, right? Now, he could be corrupt and he's as corrupt as anybody else. But it's the messaging and that is where the perception matters. So Imran is seen as a natural savior for these Pashtuns. They see him as a savior. They think that they had a good time when Imran was there. Imran was trying to resolve their issues. They had some hope. So that hope is gone completely.
That's very interesting. Let's kind of look at, do you think that the Pakistani army or whoever is trying to get Imran Khan out is getting him out to kind of deal with the Afghans and deal with the Pashtuns?
See, eventually, how does Pakistan avoid war? How do you avoid war? Either you avoid war by getting on a table and having a talk, which the Pakistani establishment is totally incapable of. Or you avoid by surrendering, which Pakistani army is brilliant at. Right? So, or you avoid that, or you avoid it by having a very, looking at the common interest and addressing the common problems. There is a view that Imran is somebody who can avoid this war because he has the ability and the trust with TTP to negotiate. Now, that essentially means that negotiation is that, Imran, I have always said that Imran Khan is going to make an Amir al-Momineen instead of an army chief, and it is going to be an extension of soft Taliban because Imran Khan is known as a Taliban Khan. So, his whole approach will be toward the soft Taliban kind of governance and soft Taliban kind of approach. And that is the only thing which saves Pakistan, agar hum aise dekhe jaye. Otherwise, Pakistan is trapped. Pakistan is trapped in its own Islamic grave. Right?
Agreed.
It cannot fight. If it goes to war, it has huge... And even if they go to war, they tried going to war. They failed miserably. They couldn't hold on an operation. Even if they go to war, I think in the end, they will have to get Imran Khan to negotiate their surrender deal.
बात कर यार, थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो गया.
हाँ, वो surrender के वक्त फिर इमरान को ही लाना पड़ेगा क्योंकि और कैसे surrender करेंगे? लड़ा तो जाएगा नहीं इनसे वहाँ पर. वो तो possible नहीं है.
I mean, आप if you look at another angle to it also, जो अभी थोड़ा geopolitical angle अगर आप देखो, Russia had said get Imran Khan out, right? China ने कुछ बोला नहीं है because to my mind China does not like Imran Khan क्योंकि वो CPEC का पूरा जो इमरान ने narrative चलाया था कि ये जर्नैल चुरा रहे हैं, ये कर रहे हैं, वो कर रहे हैं. He literally stopped the CPEC, whatever said and done, because उसने पेपर मांगे थे, मेरे को पेपर दिखाओ, कहाँ साइन कर रहा है तुम लोगों ने. वो he was doing it for political motives and the damn thing literally collapsed. तो एक वो है अमेरिका ने भी
तो if the Chinese are smart, then they should listen to Imran, because what has happened with CPEC is actually the lot of money which has been siphoned off by the Pakistani politicians and the Pakistani army. And Imran was trying to warn them that don't give this money to the establishment, give it to me and I'll take care of it. Right? So if the Chinese are smart, they can see that the Pakistani army and the Pakistani establishment have led them down the drain. Their whole investment has gone down the drain. So if they are smart, they will understand. They don't like Imran Khan. We know that they don't like Imran Khan. But I think the Chinese realize that Imran is important क्योंकि जो बचा कुचा उनका वहाँ बचा हुआ है ना, तालिबान से वही डील कर पाएगा और कोई नहीं डील कर पाएगा. So Chinese might not be very averse to it. Russians are saying this because Russians have their own game into it. They know that if Imran Khan comes into power, this ISKP factor will wind away. So, Imran will, he will curb it. It's not that he's going to stop it and all these scams are going to disappear. They will operate. But they will operate in a very different tangent. He will have control on them. But the biggest problem right now is that if Imran Khan comes in, what happens to Asim Munir? Or what happens to his generals and his colonels?
तो वो मेरा लास्ट क्वेश्चन
That
था
is
आसिम
where the
मुनीर एंड हाँ आसिम मुनीर एंड पाकिस्तानी पीपल पे लास्ट क्वेश्चन है, बट इससे पहले आई वांट टू आस्क यू वन मोर थिंग. आईएसकेपी इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. ठीक है, आईएसकेपी का पिछले हफ्ते में एक अफगानिस्तान में एक रेड हुई काबुल के अंदर. दे कॉट सम 3-4 चैप्स बाय द वे. काफी सारा असला वसला मिला वहां से एंड ऑल दैट. You know, it turns out those monkeys were sent by, it was a diplomatic request from the Pakistani embassy to Afghanistan, and these guys went on a diplomatic note, by the way.
That is what Pakistanis have been doing. They use their diplomatic passes to facilitate the movement of terrorists. That's a textbook Pakistan operation. And Afghans are not stupid. Afghans have seen them doing this. So I'm surprised that Pakistanis tried the same trick with with Afghans. The problem with ISKP now is that, well, what else can Pakistan offer? That is the question.
That's true. That's true.
They cannot offer you anything else because they're so deeply entrenched in this game that they can't come out of it. I told you, that they think they've jumped into a hole and they think it's a tunnel and there will be light at the end of the day. It's a bloody hole. They're going to go down and down. They're not going to come out of it. So that is where Pakistan is. Unfortunately, they're trying to put pressure, and central to this ISKP is Lashkar-e-Taiba.
Yep.
So they're hedging all their bets on Lashkar-e-Taiba.
So Hafiz Saeed seems to be becoming more and more important.
Hafiz Saeed is very, very important. Extremely important.
That's very, very interesting. Lastly, let me ask you about the Pakistani people. क्योंकि देखो यार, ये लोग तो, I mean, देखो, see, they don't have any way to express themselves right now. जो भी 3-4 वो यूट्यूबर हैं वो वही हैं. As a matter of fact, I was told by someone that few of these Afghans called up Fakhar Yusufzai on Twitter and bajaued him nicely. कि तू साले पठान है.
See, वो तो spent force. Fakhar Yusufzai, all these people are spent forces. They are exposed people. They hold no reputation at all. They don't even. I don't think even 10 people listen to them back at their own homes. कोई नहीं सुनता उनको. वो खुद को नहीं सुनते होंगे.
This is something that I was told by.
Yeah. Fakhar's, Yusufzai stands in front of a mirror and speaks to himself in the mirror. The other guy will say, "No, you're speaking wrong. I don't agree with you." That is their reputation.
नहीं यार, आरज़ू तो बड़ी. आरज़ू is very happy with him.
ठीक है. Yeah. See, at the end of the day, it's fine. It's the same poetry, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So what's up with the people? Because see, your prices are going to go up. Your inflation is going to go up. IMF will clamp down really hard, and they also need to pay out a lot of money, which they don't have. सोच रहे थे ये चाइना से कुछ मिलेगा. चाइना के बाद ढीला नहीं है इस टाइम पे देने को किसी को. ठीक है. बांग्लादेश को भी कुछ नहीं दिया बाय द वे चाइना ने. 1 घंटा नथिंग. ठीक है. तो पीपल का ये बताओ, और आसिम मुनीर जरा बताओ, बिकॉज इमरान खान तो ब्लडी कॉल्ड आसिम मुनीर, पता नहीं क्या क्या बोला उसको, टेररिस्ट, किलर, व्हाट, चोर, उचक्का, डाकू, पता नहीं क्या क्या बोला वो.
एवरीथिंग. आई मीन देन ही सेड नहीं, मैंने उसको बोला था पिछले वाले को. फिर उसको बोला नहीं, उसको नहीं बोल रहा था, उसका डर्टी हैरी को बोल रहा था. So Imran also kept shifting his pun. He was taking pun facts, जिसको कहते हैं.
Yeah.
He was doing that.
What's up with this game?
He's stuck. This man is really, really stuck. He has no clue how to come out of it. He just doesn't know what to do now. Because he has tried everything in his textbook. He tried to woo the Saudis. He was on the verge of getting them to Pakistan. Didn't happen. He went to Chinese. He tried Chinese. Didn't happen. He went to Americans. The best thing he got was, become an ISKP stooge. He became an ISKP stooge. So the problem is with Asim Munir, and then he tried to be Ziaul Haq of Pakistan, and basically a mixture of Ziaul Haq and Pervez Musharraf. He wanted to be both at the same time. So
Strong
he
with
purged a
India
lot of
and
men,
strong internally.
strong with India, purging his own men, throwing them out. Little he realized that the dynamics on the ground have extremely changed, and anything he does in the army, it will have a ripple effect because the Imran Khan is controlling another key. पहले तो सिर्फ जनरल के पास चाबी होती थी, वो इमरान ने पहले ही ताला जो है उसका उसने दूसरा छेद करके रखा हुआ था उसमें, तो वो छेद इसको दिखा नहीं, and now the problem is that he has started leaking shit from there. So the problem is, what does Asim Munir do? The only option for Asim Munir is to have some sort of negotiation and settlement with Imran Khan. If that settlement happens, Imran will come out sooner. If that settlement doesn't happen, Imran might stay in for long. And Pakistan will, sink deeper into abyss. Chinese are not giving any investment. Chinese, ये गए थे वो M1 train का लेकर गए थे, बड़े $6.5 billion मांगने गए थे. They said कि नहीं है हमारे पास, right? Roll over मांग रहे हैं, ये उनसे roll over वो दे रहे हैं. But I think where the Chinese are going to negotiate on the money part, Aadi, is the Wakhan corridor. If KP falls to Taliban, to TTP, to Taliban actually, and if TTP gets the control we are expecting TTP to get in next 2-3 months, then I think the serious negotiation with Pakistan will be on the Wakhan corridor. They might give them some lump sum money, or they might not even give them some money. But I think they might forgive them their loans. Maybe that will happen. But I don't see Chinese giving Pakistan even a single penny in coming times. IMF loans are stringent, are going to become stringent. उन्होंने फिर कहा टैक्स चढ़ाओ. इन्होंने आज बिजली का बिल चढ़ाया 48-49 रुपीस है. पाकिस्तान में वैसे गर्मी इतनी है, समर है. So look at way इसका ripple effect आएगा next month. It's going to come out when people will have to start paying their bills. They are going to face shortage of atta again. Again, the same circle is going to start. The same monkey circus is going to start in Pakistan, right? So, and with every cycle of discontent among people, the position of Asim Munir becomes weaker and weaker. And that is what Imran is waiting for. Because the more weaker Asim becomes, the more powerful negotiator Imran becomes.
Yeah.
So Asim Munir's best way is to save his face and find some sort of deal with Imran. He's not willing to go and deal with Imran directly right now. But circumstances will be such that he will either be forced to get him out on Imran's terms, or it looks like his days are numbered. He's not getting an extension for sure.
That's the big thing. That's the big thing. That's the big thing. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, यार. उसके बारे में तो बात नहीं करी. Elephant is the Americans. American को क्या चाहिए? And I stand by my game that boss America will want to kind of break away बलोचिस्तान. And उसके लिए अगर आप देखो ईरान के अंदर से जो रिपोर्ट्स आ रही हैं कि साहब almost 80-82% people are not following Islam anymore. ठीक है, तो अगर if that is the case, that means जो ईरान ने अभी वो शिफ्ट करा है from a very hardcore Islamist to a very reformist sort of a president, that seems part of a certain plan telling people, okay, calm down, there's no need to wear hijab and all that, let's fix this, but kind of stick with us because ये साले देश तोड़ेंगे हमारा आके. तो
because if you look at, see, American plan is very, very simple. The Americans know they are in deep shit in Middle East, right? There doesn't seem to be any end in the Gaza war. The Ukrainians war is also going on. Russia, they have now woken up and realized that Russia has made huge money, and it's the Russians who have, benefited a lot out of it. So how do they counter this whole thing? They just can't go and withdraw from there without an end game for their Middle East policy. So they need to curb Iran, they need to curb Russia, they need to curb Central Asia, right? दूसरा अगर आप ये देखोगे, the overall, if we look at the scenario, this global scenario, this migrant issues and all that, which has happened in UK, which has happened in Europe, which is happening in US, it's a larger game plan of the left, of the global left. We can clearly see what is happening there. Okay? So the Americans right now are very, very interested in this region. Why? Because who are the two major threats to America when it comes to economy? One is China, one is India. Both the countries, right? Look at the posturing Americans are doing on PM Modi's visit to Russia. Look at the way they're literally on fire. बेचारे ऐसा लग रहा है कि उन्होंने गलती से वो भूत जलोका खा लिया. That is another problem. So, they're spitting fire. So, the Americans really want to, tie up both China and us into a region where we have these kind of instability around our borders and to somehow within. Because what I'm hearing is that the equation of US and Taliban is pretty good. They don't want to disturb that equation. They're saying that this is a pretty good decision, and they know that if they disturb it, the repercussions are not going to be in Asia. The repercussions then will be world over, including US, UK, and Europe. So they are not going to stir the hornet's nest. They know that it's a hornet's nest, right? So now they are going to play this dirty game in Pakistan, and the dirty Pakistan has borders with us, has borders with China. The Chinese are going to suddenly feel threatened कि ये टीम कहाँ से आ गया और ISKP कहाँ से आ गया और ये क्या हो गया और वो क्या हो गया. So that is going to happen. Second, the Chinese investments are going to go really bad. So I think that is what is happening. And the Americans have a clear interest. They're playing the great game. What the Britishers devised, the Americans are onto it. So that is what is happening.
100 years later, our future generations will be reading a story called, I don't know, the Opium Wars of Pakistan.
Yeah, maybe the Opium Wars of Pakistan. That's a good title.
Yeah, because it's all connected. Actually, I'm going to squeeze one in क्योंकि मैं काफी टाइम से last बोल रहा हूँ, but ये literally last है. When you look at the region right now, ठीक है, there is, and we've discussed this, a great game. All the powers are in there and this and that. What are the opportunities that we have? Because अगर आप देखो, this is a prime pristine opportunity to kind of give back revenge to Pakistan, not overtly. I'm talking about covert actions. Why? And I'm kind of coming to this thought process for a while now कि यार, Pakistan cannot be answered in the normal person's language. इनको वही जवाब देना है जो उनको समझ में आता है, which is the answer of bloody घर में घुस के मारो. इनको वही समझ में आता है. They don't understand all this. ये जो आप सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक कर दो, इनको नहीं समझ में आता यार. ये साले घोड़े हैं. ये 1971 के सरेंडर को बोलते हैं हम जीत गए थे. You think they will understand all this? इनको जब तक अंदर के यहाँ पर, जब तक वो कर्नल साहब घर से बाहर निकलने के टाइम बोलेगा नहीं, यार भाई मैं जरा लेट मी लुक, कोई है तो नहीं कौन ठोकेगा मेरे को आके. We need to bring them to that position. And ये मेरा बड़ा क्लियर मानना है. ठीक है, the colonel and above of a Pakistani army needs to think, whoever's concerned with India needs to think 3 times before he comes out of his house.
I think that ways the fear is there. That opportunity is already there. That fear is also started getting instilled in Pakistanis anyway. वो तो है ही है उनके अंदर. We have seen that happening in Pakistan. But I think we have a great opportunity, Aadi. The great opportunity is one to be a big stabilizer, emerge as a big stabilizing power in South Asia. I think that is the biggest opportunity India has, and to go beyond in a sense, grow, our stature beyond what it is today. That is a great opportunity India has. Also, it might also end up stabilizing the power equation between India and China, because the moment the rusted iron brother falls, the Chinese are going to look at us, and I think we have a good opening there as well, because suddenly it's not going to be that easy for China to bully India into different ways, the way they have been doing through Pakistan through all these years, right? So I think that factor will be taken away from China. Second is, I think, from the business point of view, from the economic point of view, then if that happens, obviously India immensely benefits from the Central Asian countries as well. So I think that big brother role of the region, which we always talk about, it's the real chance where India is going to play that role. But saying that, that role will only comes if we understand the challenges which are going to be thrown at us. And the challenges are also very, very steep, because honestly, neither US nor China, are going to give it to us very easily. The US will not be looking at it will not be looking at it that way as well. Chinese to hai hai. So I think that is the challenge, and the opportunities are huge. But vis-a-vis Pakistan, I think the Pakistanis are going to have a fear for next 100 years of how India as a country has handled them diplomatically, militarily, and overtly both. They will remember it for next 100 years.
Somebody put a very interesting comment here. Let me just read this out and then let's get into the questions. Ravi Trivedi Saab, he says, imagine 1,000 years from now, archaeologists dig in present-day Pakistan. What will they find? Imran Khan बाहर निकल के बोलेगा, पहले आपने घबराना नहीं.
Well, they are not going to, they will have a problem when they will dig up this place, because they will look at the other parts of the world and they look at this part of the world and they say that this world didn't exist within this world. That is how Pakistan is, unfortunately. So yeah, it's going to be a bad situation.
I mean, it's I keep saying this, Pakistan not being kind of able to kind of, I don't know, not being able to sustain itself is not an easy thing. And iske baare mein ek sawal bhi hai. We will get into that. So guys, let's please like this video, subscribe to the channel. Let's at least hit 1,000 likes. We are at 743. I think we can hit 1,000. So please jara like kariye, subscribe kariye channel ko agar aapne nahi kara, and most importantly, share this with your friends and families. Put it on your WhatsApp groups. And yes, a lot of you have been complaining ki humko notifications nahi aate hain. Please there is a WhatsApp channel link which is there in the description. WhatsApp channel link के अंदर आप एक दूसरे के contacts नहीं देख सकते हैं, तो it is absolutely safe. आप लोग को आपका कोई नंबर इधर उधर नहीं जाएगा. So you can join that WhatsApp channel. There is only one way communication from my side, where I put in the links of the shows that are coming up. So you can kind of join that so that you get the notifications on time. You can join the Telegram group which is there niche, where you get notifications on time. So the choice is yours, but I'd really recommend कि आप कुछ किस तरह से कांटेक्ट में रहिए, because I can't really help YouTube. It's a little weird that ways. Also, you can contribute towards this channel using the QR code या फिर PayPal या फिर super sticker, super chat के साथ आप contribute कर सकते हैं. Okay, people have started. Okay, let's see where. Okay, yeah, number one. Sudita Patraji, thank you so much. Did you hear about Azerbaijan president giving full support to Pakistan on Kashmir, standing on a Pakistani land? How will India respond to that? And do you think he played a gamble by supporting Pakistan?
No, he's not played a gamble. Look, the Azerbaijanians have, if you look at, Azerbaijani and Armenian war, the Pakistanis were supporting them all and out. We were supporting the Armenians. So it's but natural for Azerbaijan to come to Pakistan and, support Kashmir. But how does it matter? Who know? How many people in the world know where Azerbaijan is and what political or, geopolitical heft Azerbaijan holds? So it really doesn't matter what he said on Kashmir. Nobody is out to hear him out, and quite expected.
That was the jawab, because we keep arming Armenia, तो वो थोड़ा गुस्सा है और कुछ नहीं है.
हाँ, वही है.
By the way, the next COP28 in November is happening in Azerbaijan, and Azerbaijan has given a very warm invitation to Prime Minister Modi to come there. So
must have. Even the Israelis were helping him out.
Yeah. I mean, Azerbaijan को पता है क्या चाहिए? He wants that corridor. Armenia के नीचे corridor मिल जाए ना उसको किसी तरह से. वो मिल जाए
after that corridor.
हाँ, that corridor he wants so that he can get some Chinese monies जो transit में उसको मिल जाएगा. ठीक है, which is what ideally Pakistan should have done in life. यार तुम इंडिया, आपको ईरान से तेल चाहिए, नो प्रॉब्लम, मैं पाइपलाइन बनाता हूँ सर, कोई टेंशन नहीं है. आई विल मेक इट फॉर यू. ईरान जी, मैं पाइपलाइन बनाता हूँ. You can imagine what Pakistan would be shitting money without doing anything.
But Pakistan being Pakistan, how do you expect these
There are
things?
Three ways. I mean, I don't want to this thing. There are 3-4 things that Pakistan could do. Now they can't. There's no way they can do all this stuff. एक pipeline.
No, nobody in Pakistan.
ऊपर आप hydro projects बनाते, and you should have supplied energy to bloody Punjab and all that region. ठीक है. You could have done that. Thirdly, you could have said कि साहब ऐसा है, आपको जो यहाँ से सामान लेके जाना है, रोड ट्रांसपोर्ट, आप ये पूरा 6 लेन का हाईवे है, हमने बनाया आपके लिए, जाओ जो मर्जी करो, आप जहां मर्जी जाना है, जहां
हाँ
मर्जी
तो
जाओ,
फिर
हर ट्रक के हमको 1000 रुपए दे देना बस. They would
हाँ
be
तो फिर
spitting
पाकिस्तानी
money
पूछते हैं ना
यार.
कि आपने, हाँ तो बट वो फिर पूछते हैं ना कि पाकिस्तान बनाने की जरूरत क्या पड़ी हमको, जब हमने ये सब कुछ करना ही है,
यार ये
सूबे की
तो
तरह काम
बेवकूफी है ना.
कर रहे हैं.
I mean, you look at the way, I mean, Jordan deals with stuff. ठीक है, जॉर्डन के जो जो आई मीन उसके तो डायरेक्ट फैमिली डिसेंडेंसी है यार, और किस प्रैग्मेटिज्म के साथ वो डील करता है
They have,
सिचुएशंस को.
they have a, you know, centuries old history. Pakistan has no history. Pakistan is a faulty nation bought out of a faulty thought. जब thought process ही गलत है, so what do? You have a mentally deranged kid. How do you expect him to be a computer science engineer?
I know. Jay Saab, thank you so much. Adi sir, even China, Russia, Iran can make their own social media. Being largest IT employers, we still have not made our own social media. Why? If your answer is we need large infrastructure IT, then why our government is not increasing cloud infrastructure? Saab, let me tell you, I not just support you. I've been saying this, that we need to do something. Either you make a social media which takes 10, 15 years for it to get popular, or you buy the damn things. Twitter is what? $50 billion? Go to Musk, come here. इधर आ. ये पकड़ 25, गायब हो जाए यहाँ से. You would have.
The wise thing would be to buy it. That's what the Chinese did. They started investing into technology. Unfortunately, our, you know,
Our
what do I
strategic
say?
thought
Big
has been terrible
corporates
in
don't
India.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our big corporate houses don't understand the significance of these things. They are still happy to play a second fiddle
There
to
is
these
only
things
one
and
guy,
use these
I would
things,
say,
right?
Ola, Bhavish Agarwal, who's actually thinking for the future.
He is somebody who thinks about it. His thought
ठीक है
process
ना?
is there.
He's
You know,
thinking about
somebody
all this
started
stuff.
who started, and then, you know, it fizzled out because nobody was willing to put money into it. It didn't get the
Yeah.
permissions in Europe. It got delayed. किसी ने पैसा नहीं डाला. So at the end of the day, you know, all these things need and sustaining some money. We have not been able to do that.
Everything has a cost to it, yeah. Everything has a price to it.
Yeah.
We need to be able to start putting the economic power behind our decisions and henceforth. Ravi ji, once again, अभी तो तोशे खाने में IMF ने जनरल $7 बिलियन डाले हैं. US पाकिस्तान के साथ प्रेम जो है.
See, IMF, you know, giving 7 billion come with a lot of riders. Look at the way IMF is funding them. मतलब वो इनका एक एक पसीना निचोड़ के पसीना निकाल रहा है बॉडी से, फिर इनको पैसे दे रहा है. So, you know, it's more of a burden for Pakistan to take this IMF loan. And वही तो इमरान खान भी बोल रहा है कि IMF का हम कितनी देर चल रहे हैं. तो इमरान तभी तो इतना फेमस हो रहा है पाकिस्तान में, वो तभी तो स्ट्रांग हो रहा है, क्योंकि उसके ऑप्शन तो उसके पास भी कोई नहीं है. पैसा तो उसने भी लाना है. वो कहता है मैं सऊदी से भी लाऊंगा, मुझे सऊदी भी पैसा देगा, चाइना भी पैसा देगा. You know, the whole Pakistani economy is who's going to give Pakistan money. Pakistan never built an economy of its own.
Yeah.
They never
Yeah,
thought
that's
about it. It was always who's
that's
going to
true.
give them more aid. So that is where Pakistan is today. But even if IMF has given 7 billion, how long is it going to last? It's not going to
That's
last
over
even 3 months.
37. That's no. It's over 37 months.
हाँ मैं
3
वही कह रहा
years.
हूँ. 3 years तो वो 4 महीने में पैसा खत्म हो जाएगा, फिर क्या करेंगे?
3 साल में उसको 7 बिलियन दे रहे हो आप. कितना बड़ी getting what? Less than 2, I mean just 2.1 billion a year. And आपको 44
Almost
बिलियन
nearly
देने हैं बाहर.
2.2. It's unsustainable money basically.
Yeah. Saudi ended decades on petrodollar deal. Your views? It hasn't ended it. Let me break this thing. There was no deal. There was no written deal. It was a conversation by the King Abdullah Al Saud and Henry Kissinger in 1970s sometime. There was no deal.
On a USS ship. I forgot the name of the ship.
ठीक है ना, तो वो कुछ रिटन सिग्नेचर नहीं हुआ है. ये चीज जरा ध्यान रखिएगा. Secondly, what Saudis are doing is they're kind of linking up with the US right now and demanding a net security agreement with nuclear cover.
And Americans are ready to give it.
Yeah, so their final agreements are happening now, wherein you are basically, they are waiting for this stupid war to finish in Gaza so that they can then say, Israel, my long lost friend, come here, Habibi, everything okay. And they will be fine after that. So that's what they're waiting for. Your views?
Same, sir. Absolutely, there is no petrodollar deal, and the petrodollar is not going away from, you know. And given the reforms Saudi Arabia is taking, US is a very very key ally for them right now. Second, now they are asking for nuclear deal also, so the relationship is strengthening somewhat.
Yeah.
They were just using China as a bargaining chip to muscle their way with the US, and that is happening. I don't think Saudis will
Uh,
be foolish to make end something with Americans right now.
yeah, and sit in the lab for China. So that's not going to happen. What can save Pakistani economy? One word answer.
Oh, that's a good question. I think one word answer: tax the Pakistani army.
Okay.
Army
I was
tax.
about to say one thing, which was a little more harder. I said nothing.
Mhm. Nothing. No. No. Pakistan army tax. That
Hmm.
means disenfranchising the complete Pakistani establishment, going through an overhaul. Curbing your radicalization within Pakistan, and liberalizing your own self, which is almost impossible. Which is nothing
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
But still, I was giving them hope.
उम्मीद पे दुनिया कायम है भाई. Girly Miss
Hmm.
Girly says, Adi, if casualty of Pakistan army is so high, why is America giving them aid in billions? What is the game for the Americans? We have discussed a little bit, but would you like to add anything?
See, the Americans are not giving the aid to the Pakistanis for Pakistani army. The Americans are giving the aid for the Pakistanis for those heads in madrasas sitting in Pakistan.
Yeah.
Because the Americans are interested in creating terrorist numbers on the ground. So the aid is not for the army. The aid is for those madrasa chaps sitting in Pakistan who want to join ISKP, organizations like Lashkar-e-Taiba and all those. पैसा उनके लिए आ रहा है, पैसा पाकिस्तान आर्मी के लिए तो ना आ रहा है. पाकिस्तानी आर्मी
Yeah,
उसमें सिर्फ अपना कट ले रही है.
yeah, there is also aid that comes through an organization called the Helping Hands Foundation, which is based in Michigan. This particular foundation was given almost $200 million in the past about 5-6 months by Joe Biden. As a matter of fact,
Hmm.
they gave $200 million to this organization about a year and a half ago, where Susan White or somebody like that, I forget, she was the head of USAID, and a very close kind of a compatriot of Joe Biden, जो उसके अंदर थी, उसके inner circle में थी. She was asked to leave, right, for
Hmm.
this, right, because the Republicans found out and they said, bugger off, you can't do this. So she was asked to leave, and 3 months later, Biden signed the check again and said, no, 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 here's another $200 million.
Well, that's
All
okay.
right. Anandji, you say if Pakistan collapses, then there would be heavy influx of Pakistanis in the neighboring countries. Do you think Afghanistan and Iran are also preparing for a Pakistani collapse like India?
See, there won't be a heavy influx because large part Pakistan is going to collapse, but Pakistan is not going to collapse the way we see typical collapses happening. What will happen is that the governance system of Pakistan will change. It will be you can say the Afghan sympathizers and the Afghanistanis who will be predominant, and their whole structure of governance will change. Now, anybody who will try to escape Pakistan will either go towards Iran or come. India to सवाल ही नहीं पैदा होता because India will be their last resort. There's no somebody who will say कि India is going to save us. And most of the Pakistanis will agree, the kind of radicalization you have, it will be a very natural progression for Pakistanis because they will get into this Sharia thing which they always talk about. The elite will run to US,
Yeah.
UK, and European and Dubai. That is where their investments are. That is where they will go. So and yes, Iranians will be looking at it because there is a major Shia population which will feel threatened. The Afghans already have been kicked out of Pakistan. On the contrary, they will be looking at returning to Pakistan and getting their properties back, which have been forcibly taken away from them. तो वो फिर उस पुलिस वाले को, उस कस्टम वाले को खूंटे पे चढ़ाएंगे और उससे
Yeah.
उसको स्किन ऑफ करेंगे कि तुमने हमारा पाकिस्तान में मकान खा लिया, ये वापस दो. So that is the kind of situation we are going to see in Pakistan.
Gee. It's Susan Rice, not Susan White. Thank you, Bhavesh ji, for correcting me. That's what I was kind of messing up her last name. Jays has put in an interesting uh, sort of a explanation for Pakistan. He says promoting outreach, research, knowledge, innovation, and sustainable technologies, advancement, networking. That is Pakistan. I would remove technologies and put terrorism. promoting outreach,
Oh, well,
research, knowledge, innovation, sustainable terrorism, which is responsible nowadays. You know, you have to be यार, climate change हो रहा है, ऐसे थोड़ी होता है. ग्रेटा थनबर्ग ने बोला था ना, वो क्या बोला था उसने? क्या इको फ्रेंडली ग्रेनेड्स एंड
eco-friendly.
इलेक्ट्रिक टैंक्स यूज करो.
No, that was a deep fake.
I know, I'm just joking.
But yeah,
She's quite capable.
yeah, that is
GM,
nice.
GM Nizamuli.
They are capable of anything.
Yeah.
Original case on
Nizamuli
Imran Khan on
ji,
9th incident.
the case on Imran Khan, 9th May incident, and this case doesn't resolve easily. What do you think about the people of Pakistan?
What do I have to? I don't understand the question. In what context you think about people of Pakistan? What exactly are you asking me here? I'm sorry. If you can just rephrase your question, I would be able to understand it.
He's saying,
See, if you're
okay,
talking about the 9th May,
9th May.
yeah, original case on Imran Khan, 9th May incident, we have seen how it has gone in the courts also. It didn't stick to them, and Imran was able to secure bail in that case as well. And it didn't resolve easily, that is correct. But what do you think about people of Pakistan is, I think people of Pakistan, okay, now I understand what you're saying. You have two parts of the question, not one part of the question. Well, honestly, I don't know what to think of people of Pakistan. I mean, I have no sympathy for people of Pakistan because what we see happening in Pakistan, the way they lynch their own, the way they behave with minorities, they have behaved in minorities. I think Pakistani society is as radicalized as any other society, which is sitting in Afghanistan. That is why I say there is going to be a natural progression. The Pakistanis are obsessed with hate with India, and unless and until that obsession doesn't come out, Pakistan doesn't really, learn to be a civilized world. It's a very uncivilized country because they really don't know how to behave with, fellow humans. So it's a very jihadi mindset. I'm not saying that whole Pakistan is like that, but the majority of Pakistan is like that. So that my view of people of Pakistan is exactly this.
I'm sorry,
I don't have a different.
I'll disagree with you.
That's okay.
Probably for the first and last time. I will say the whole of Pakistan is like that. I have no freaking sympathy for these people.
No, there are a few. There are a few. I would say 99.5%, but there is still a 5 point. There are a few.
वो तो हर जगह होते हैं यार, but भाई साहब, I'm sorry.
हाँ वही उन्हीं की है. बाकी तो सारा पाकिस्तान एक जैसा ही है. Even the Ahmadiyas they have huge hate for Indians. They might not have, they might be getting persecuted, but their opinion, if you talk to them about opinions of non-Muslims or India or somebody else, they are equally insightful and hateful. So I have no sympathy for people of Pakistan, to be honest. I don't view them differently as Pakistani establishment. I think they are exactly what the establishment built them. So I'm sorry, Nizami Saab, you might be very blunt, but my honest opinion about Pakistan is that it's a horrible place.
Absolutely. I second that. I second, third, fourth, fifth to the power nth that. Hilol Sen Saab says, Aadi, cricket isn't all useless as you always say. Cricket diplomacy has been instrumental in placing an Indian asset like Imran as the head of state of Pakistan. Time for Sidhu for another Pakistan visit.
See, get away with this notion that Imran Khan is India's asset. Imran Khan is not India's asset. Imran Khan is a very potent threat to India. Please understand this. Because you have no idea if Imran comes to power, what is going to happen on our borders. Right? So creating this, this joke of cricket diplomacy and Imran being India's asset, Imran is not India's asset. Imran is India's adversary. You have to be very, very careful with Imran Khan because Imran Khan coming back to power means you have Islamists who will be coming to your borders.
Yep.
The only thing which is keeping away is, right now is the corrupt Pakistani military. They are pushing them across, honestly, but then not state.
Absolutely correct, because Imran Khan is a card-carrying member of the Brotherhood here. Please be very careful what you wish for.
Yeah. So don't be under this impression that Imran Khan is India's asset. No, he's not India's asset.
Yeah,
it's not at all.
Daily crypto and sports news. Thank you so much. Says Pakistan a major threat or Bangladesh? The illegals are a major threat.
Bangladesh is a upcoming threat. It is a threat for sure. It is going to be a very potent threat in next half a decade to a decade. Pakistan is an ever-present threat. So we have two threats to deal with.
Ketan Saab says, is it possible Pakistan can make an understanding with Russia and Iran that they will somehow lower ISKP attacks in return for some backdoor money?
See, the Iranians are not going to pay shit to Pakistanis, right? Iranians are not going to pay money, and the Russians are also not going to pay money. Russians don't play this game. They're not Americans who will throw money at, or the Chinese. It's not going to happen. Second thing is, the problem is not the ISKP attacks which is happening. The problem with Pakistan is that how do they keep the TTP in check? They can only keep TTP in check if they can fight TTP with or Taliban with ISKP. The only thing which can stop Taliban in the region is the ISKP if you have to create internal fights. Otherwise, you have to have a direct fight. In a direct fight, Pakistan is at a severe disadvantage right now. They cannot fight Taliban.
That's interesting. Your thoughts on Azerbaijan's statement on Kashmir? This
Already,
is
as I
quite
said,
it is quite hurt a lot of people. This is the third person who's asked this question. It's their standard statement, right?
It's a standard statement, but even if it is not a standard statement or we see it as an adverse statement, the point is, we were supplying weapons to its adversary during the war. So what do you expect? They will come and they will spew venom against us. So, but Azerbaijan, honestly, it doesn't matter what they say. It's a tiny country somewhere. World doesn't know about it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Mr. Batliwala says, what will happen to the INSTC if Pakistan breaks? I mean, the International North-South Terror Company.
Well, the INSTC, International North-South Terror Company, that's a good one.
It's a funny question, but it's a very good question.
It's a very good question. See, I'll tell you something. If we look at terror and if we think that Pakistan is the only country which is looking at terror, then we are absolutely wrong in our assessment. Right? Pakistan is a stopgap solution. It's like, Pakistan will get annihilated and then Pakistan will become an extended region for the forces who have been operating in the area for a very long time. At the end of the day, it is something which is you have to deal with potently everywhere. It's a global terror. It has got nothing to do with, dismembering of Pakistan. It will delay the inevitable. And you believe that, while it gets delayed, this whole global terrorism dies down and there is some solution to it, or, it weakens itself. But eventually it is going to come up to your doors tomorrow or today, but it is going to happen. And we have to be mentally, physically, security, politically, everywhere prepared for it, that what is going to come next. We have to be very proactive in the steps we have to take. So terror corridor, Pakistan will break, but the terror corridor is not going to break. The terror corridor is going to be there. The players will be different. That's the only difference. The players change. In this game, the players change.
The problem, I mean, you've said something really fantastic, because for me, the main worry of a Pakistan breakup is literally not what Afghanistan has become, because Afghanistan still is able to kind of control its game. My worry is about an implosion of Pakistan, not about an explosion of Pakistan. A lot of people worry that explosion होगा तो चीजें बाहर जाएंगी and लोग बाहर बिखरेंगे and all that. Everybody is worried about that. My worry is not that. My worry is an implosion within. What happens is when society, civil society groups, literally a civil war brews up, where there's active shooting on the streets and this and that, lack of food, lack of this, lack of that. Now, what happens in that sort of a situation is, because you're saying you're a big power and you're regional, this, that, and everything, the world will start looking up to you and saying, "Yaar, thoda khana de do inko." So I don't want to be feeding the snake. That's my worry.
No, there is another problem with implosion. Another problem with implosion will be that, it's going to multiply. The radicalization will multiply very fast, right? And who is it going to affect? It is going to affect us. It is going to affect the Chinese. That is what is going to happen. So I completely agree with you. The implosion of Pakistan is very, very dangerous for us. The explosion of Pakistan can still be managed. The balkanization of Pakistan, as a wise man very recently told me, I don't want to see the Lebanization of Pakistan. I want to see the balkanization of Pakistan. Balkanization of Pakistan makes sense. Lebanization, Somalization or even Lebanese. Somaliaization. You don't want to see that happening in Pakistan. That's a very, very dangerous situation for us.
Yeah. I'm gonna take two questions at the same time because both of them are connected, and this will be the last one that we take. But both are very interesting,
Sure.
and it's somewhere connected to the Jamaat, which is basically it takes birth in Pakistan. Rangarok Saab says West Bengal is the biggest problem India faces right now. We've kind of discussed this. And Shilpi ji says, how do we deal with the porous borders in the Eastern Front?
See, Bengal is not only the biggest problem. The problem, your whole problem is from Bengal to the northeast. Because, what you're missing is the larger picture. You're missing the Rohingyas, the way they are operating in Myanmar. And the Rohingya Muslims, the Rohingyas which are trained with these terror organizations which are, in Afghanistan and in Pakistan, and the game they have tried to play in this region for a very long time. So that is one very, very potent threat. Now, how do you deal with the Eastern Front? Look, you will have to come up with a national security policy. You will have to have a very proactive department like Homeland Security US has. You really need to come up with something like that. You cannot fence the entire border, right? But then fencing is not only physical fencing, you have geofencing as well. So geofencing needs to be carried out. The challenges on this side of the border are also immense. But then these are the things we have to really, really look into, and we cannot be complicit in dealing with these issues. What I'm seeing right now, what we are trying to see is that there is a lot of complacency has stuck into a lot of places. There's a lot of politics. Everything is with the internal politics. Too much internal politics. So I think the focus from national security to internal politics, I think national security needs to be prioritized the way national security has to be prioritized. You cannot internalize it politically and try to gain out of politics, make political gains out of it. You have to be very, very clear in that messaging. I think that messaging is lost. But if we are able to do that, I think we have done well. I think second major challenge is the narco-terrorism we are facing, the narcotics we are facing. If we are able to curb that kind of cycle, from our, especially from the sea routes and the northeast, that circle which is being created in northeast once again is becoming a hot tub again. I think we will be doing pretty well. But we have to be extremely careful in what is happening in Bangladesh, and we have to be very hefty in our own political assessments in Bangladesh.
And it's also
We can't
sponsored, by the way.
overreact.
The Rohingyas were basically
The whole
sponsored
thing is sponsored.
by the CIA and all these guys to kind of get into this entire area and um, weaken the whole thing. This is exactly what they did in Europe. So
Yeah,
they
the whole thing is sponsored. So you have to be. That's why I'm saying, you just can't sit and hope that we will get into power and then we'll think about it.
Yeah.
Till that we'll play politics on it. Cannot happen. You have to be very, very strong on national security. Unfortunately, it is not coming around that way.
Yeah, I think daily crypto and sports news. Thank you. Firstly, I think we've covered your question here. And Thought Provocator Sub says IM is trying to set up an alliance with Turks in Malaysia. They've been doing for a while, right? Under Imran Khan,
They
that's what they
always
did,
had
right?
it. They always had it. It's been not only Malaysia but also Qatar.
Qatar.
Yeah. So it's look, that is what I said. The terrorism is a global problem. It is not because of Pakistan or because of somebody else. It is a global operating phenomena, and we have to deal with it globally. Pakistan might collapse tomorrow, but as I said, the players will change. So yeah, they're dealing with Malaysia, they're dealing with Indonesia, they're dealing with a lot of things. But at the end of the day, we know also how to counter terrorism, and we have been doing that effectively.
True. On that note, sir, thank you so much. This was quite an interesting session because it's funny, but there's that very ironic sort of a humor that you have in today's world, that it's so dangerous that it's funny. But when it comes to Pakistan, that's what it is. We need to kind of keep a track of it. We need to kind of figure out what's happening. And the game is that there is just so much of influence which is around here. Chinese, American, this, that. Everybody's going to play a game, and everybody's going to look after his national interest in Pakistan, and that is quite dangerous. On that note, sir, thank you so much. Always a pleasure talking to you, and we shall see you next week
Thank you,
where
sir.
we will discuss furthermore.
Definitely.
Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, sir.